Hello and welcome to the first episode of a new series here on OBC titled Mxcky. This is my first time doing something like this, you know. You may see me interrupt Kirk on the Eric Andre show or even from my own talk show on APS. But this is the first time doing a one-on-one interview, especially in this manner. And it is amazing to be doing this on the relaunched OBC. So, sit down and stick around for the ride. My guest tonight is the owner of a successful group in the game show community, with shows like Hot Seat, Splash, and my personal favourite, The Weakest Link. Before, however, he used to be called the £1 Million Drop. No prize as to how he got that username, but his new name is now Arman, and he is here tonight. Arman, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for having me on. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't expect you to actually call me on because I didn't even know this was gonna happen. But when I saw your message, I was pretty surprised, and I was like, okay, let's do this. Why not?
First off, how are you?
I'm pretty good, thanks. I'm just currently there's a lot going on, because I have a few exams coming up next week. But thank God I'm going on vacation right my last exam, well, not my last exam, but one of my exams is on Monday. And then after that, I'm going on vacation. So I guess that kind of helps. But yeah, I'm doing fine. How about you?
I'm doing good, yeah. Just doing my first show.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Oh, thank you. It was better than my last job. Anyways, so you have been in Roblox since 2012, but
Correct.
you didn't join the community until much later. So I want to ask you, what made you want to join Roblox, and more specifically, what made you want to join the game show community?
Well, the thing is, that, as I said, I joined Roblox 12 years ago, which is almost 13, which is actually crazy. Um, I think the reason why I originally joined Roblox was because of Wipeout. Because I don't know if you remember, what was the guy's name? Armanxh1, I think. He used to do Wipeout Roblox for a few seasons, and I was a huge fan of Wipeout at the time. So I was like, okay, well, let me join, let me do this, And that was the reason why I joined Roblox in the first place. And then, you know, then I stopped playing Roblox, I think in 2016 or so. It was like an on and off thing. I would play it for a year or two, and then I would just go off the platform, and then I would come back. And how I joined the Roblox community was actually during the Weakest Link season 1 on top. I had Herds on Roblox. You guys know him, Herds the Govian Beast. He does a lot of stuff in the community as well as APS. And he was there. I think he was staff at the time for that show. And I saw him in game, and I was like, okay, well, let me join. And then after that, I joined TOF, and that's basically how it all started.
You mentioned there TOF for a second there, but really, those types of game shows actually inspired you to make your own group, which at the time was called Arman Productions.
Well, that's still the full name. We just have an abbreviation for it now, which has been, well, it used to be AP back then until 2022. That's when we sort of rebranded when we got a new logo. And then ever since then it's been APS. But yeah.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you, how did Arman Productions come about? How did you come up with it?
I don't know if you remember this, but you and I, we were talking, I think, on Discord once, and I was like, what if I started my own group? What if I started it? Because let's just do this for fun. We'll see how it goes. And then you were like, okay, well, yeah, why not? So you actually kind of got me to do it because you said, why not? You thought it would be a good idea. Yeah, that's how it started.
Yeah, because I was at TRN at the time doing my own stuff, and I think you came about with doing Arm Productions.
Yeah, that was in June 2020 when we opened the group.
Yeah, but ever since then, though, APS has become this huge well, one of the main groups actually. A lot of people are actually favouring on Productions to top at the moment because of their consistency and scheduling. Did you ever think that APS would get this many people, like with this many members joining?
That's a good question actually, because I think, if I said no, I would be lying, I think, because um I think every group owner, when they first start doing their group, I think every owner expects their group to become, big and to become popular. Like, that's, I think, the main, I wouldn't say the main goal is to get popular, because like you actually want to have fun in your own way. Because like when you have a group, you're not really limited to others and like to shows from other groups. You can sort of like, do your own shows, experiment a lot, which I do. Well, actually, which we do. Well, because it's not just me, who's, because I'm not the only owner of the group anymore. Um, but yeah, like that's what we do. Because like we experiment a lot, we do a lot of shows. Other groups probably wouldn't do.
Mm.
And yeah, I think that's the fun of it. And I think that's also part of the reason why we got so popular in the first place. Because like, and as we also said, there's scheduling and consistency and whatnot. But it also, if you want to become a big group on Roblox, you also need to have a good schedule, because I think that plays a really important role as well, as I said. Because like, if you have interesting shows or like unique ones that will attract new people, other than like, okay, you can do the prices right because that'll be popular. That's like always going to be popular. But like, people also want to see new content.
Mm. You very interesting actually. I'll actually ask something that wasn't on my question card, but you mentioned there about good scheduling. So, do you do you have like a technique with scheduling? Like, do you analyze how to like which shows will do well at which slot, or is it just like because a lot of people in the community you just put their shows at like random times and hope for the best?
Mm. Well, the thing is, we've had this scheduling system for like a few years now, where we do two shows on Saturdays.
Mm.
The first one is always at 3 p.m. Eastern, and the second one is at 4:30 p.m. And how we determine, I think it's the popularity of the shows and the relevancy of them that determines, where they go. Because like what we tend to do is we put the more popular shows on Saturdays, and then like,
Mm.
the less, it's not always the case that the less popular ones are on Sundays, because we had Splash and Deal or No Deal, because like we have those two shows which are incredibly popular. And they air on Sundays as well. Like, and then you have also the Chase, which I think has become a bit more popular since season one. That also airs on Sundays.
Mm.
So it just kind of, it depends. We also try to like do quiz shows, because like quiz shows we want to do them on Saturdays, and then have Sundays as like this game show or action based game show day, if you know what I mean. Because like that's why we had Beat the Star, which is coming back as Beat the Best now. And then we also have They Have No Idea What Will Happen, and we've got new shows of that sort coming soon.
I'll ask you more about that in a bit. But following on from that, which shows do you think helped APS become popular? So do you think it might have been Hot Seat that may have helped, or maybe 1 versus 50, or my personal favorite, The Weakest Link?
The thing is, I think Hot Seat was like, it's sort of like the base of APS,
Mm.
because that was the first show we ever did, and like that's the show I wouldn't say everyone knows us for, but like people who have been here for a long time know that it's our longest running show, and it's been around for so long. Like we just finished our sixth season of the show. We've done over 100 episodes, which is crazy. um and yeah, I would say maybe that was I'd say that's like the base, or the basis of APS. But there's also shows like Splash, which made its debut earlier this year. That ended up becoming a really big success, which actually surprised me a little bit because I didn't expect it to do that well.
Mm.
With how it did. The weakest link I would also add it to the list because it's also one of our longest running shows. And it's quite popular. Definitely classic. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Um, I would maybe add the Wheel as well, but there are a lot of projects definitely that are quite popular in our group.
The Wheel. How do I forget the Wheel? I've been a star on that show for a few times on during the past few years.
Yeah, you've been definitely you've been on quite a few times, yeah. And we've also
Yeah.
done season like 3 seasons as well. Now next year we're gonna be doing a fourth. So
Mm. You mentioned now you have quite a bit of staff in APS. Really, kind of like a family of people in APS.
yeah,
So so you've got on top of my head, you've got Fan Gamer who I work quite well with sometimes. Of course, you have Host Over the Beast, who you mentioned. But there is another person, Daniel,
yeah.
and I just want to ask, like, how has it been? Well, how has it been like to have Daniel join the team at APS?
Um, Daniel has helped me a lot in so many different ways. Because we're really close outside of the community anyway, and because he works for a TV broadcaster over here in Germany.
Mm.
You probably know it. You know which one it is. Um, I was too scared. Well, I wasn't scared. I was like, I was scared of his reaction because, like, if I was like, what if I told him like, oh well, I'm doing this group on Roblox. It kind of copies like the logo of our group is very similar to the logo of that channel. So I was like, how the hell is he gonna react to that? And then I told him about it and I showed him the logo and whatnot, and he thought it was pretty cool actually, and that's what made him join the group. And as I said, he's helped me in so many ways. Like he helps me organize stuff. He helps me, schedule shows for like we have a schedule ready for next year as well, and he helped me make that. And it's much easier when two people do it compared to like one person alone. Um, he's also brought quite a few new shows to APS. One of them being They Have No Idea What Will Happen. Um, and yeah, it's just he helps me. He helps me a lot. And I'm really thankful that he's on the team. Um,
Mm.
and I think APS wouldn't be the same if he wasn't on our team.
Yeah, and I'll also mention this as well because you mentioned you showed Daniel the logo to APS. I might add, I made that logo.
He did, yeah. Because I remember we talked about it. And I was like, what if we rebrand? What if we did a rebrand? Because the logo we currently have is like it's versatile because like you can adapt it to every show in so many ways. Because like the logo is the same, but the colors are like different depending on the show.
Mm.
So that's something I really like about our brand.
Yeah. Um, I have. What's next for APS? So, is there anything big coming up? Do you have any like? You mentioned there your new shows coming to APS in the near future.
Um, well, we do have well, I didn't say I was gonna reveal any exclusives, but as I said, we do have Beat the Best coming next year in January. Um, there's also we also have, I think, later this year, we have in December we're gonna be doing a quiz of the year. Basically, it's gonna be questions about the year of 2024 and what happened and whatnot. It's also gonna be community related partially. It's gonna be a really fun show. It's gonna be, as I said, a yearly thing. Every year we're gonna be doing a quiz of the year, and yeah, that's gonna be fun. But there's also other projects that I really can't reveal right now, even though I wish I could.
Ah, come on. I'm only
I
joking.
wish I could, but I can tell you that we're gonna be starting off next year with our some of our most popular shows, I would say. As usual, we start the year off with The Weakest Link and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire on Saturday, so that's going to be coming back again together, those two
Mm.
shows. And then there's two new shows coming they're going to be airing on Sundays.
Ooh.
Yeah, and you'll find out soon enough.
All right, and one more question. One more question about the weakest link, of course. Are we going to be expecting a brand new set for the weakest link, like maybe to do with modern times?
I say you should wait and see.
Getting out there with that answer.
You'll have
uh,
to wait and see.
yeah, Armin, ever the pleasure to interview you, and come back any other time, right?
You bet I will. Every as soon as I have anything else to promote or anything new to announce, I'll be back.
Or come on, have a nice natto. It'd be quite cool. Anyways, Armin, ever the pleasure. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Anytime.
And that's it from us. Next week, I'll be talking to Blue Frog about his YouTube channel, which has recently been deleted. If you don't know, he had a 30,000 subscriber YouTube channel, but has been deleted recently by YouTube terms of services. So I'll be talking to him about that. But that's all from me for now. Big thank you to Armin for joining me. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.